Well, hey everybody, welcome back. This is the bonus floss tube / cross stitch episode here at the end of April. As I mentioned in episode 7, I was actually going to discuss my plans, my future plans for my cross stitch projects because the month of May is coming up. So, as I mentioned previously, there has been a history of what most floss tubers and cross stitch enthusiasts call stitch mania, spelled M-A-Y-N-I-A, for the month of May. And actually, it is my understanding it was a group that was started on Facebook. And the initial concept was to have a new start for the number of days in which whatever the last 2 digits of the year were. So if you were doing a traditional or a mania start as originally intended, because this is 2021, you would start 21 new starts in the month of May. It is also my understanding, however, that group is kind of, I guess the best way to describe it is disbanding. The original people that started that group on Facebook, the admins or whoever, are just going to no longer do it, and I think they're going to shut down that group page and probably archive it. So basically, I don't know how long the original Stitch Mania has been in existence, but it has since then grown into all sorts of different ways of stitching in the month of May. Some people do monogamania, which is basically they pick one project and that's all they work on exclusively in May. Stephanie from Lindy Stitches started something, I believe last year she started it, and it's called Stitch Sania, where basically instead of starting a whole bunch of new things because she had projects that she still needed to work on, what she did was set a goal for herself every week on an existing project, and if she met that goal by the weekend, she allowed herself a new start. So there are a lot of different things that people do every year for the month of May, but one thing that has come up more recently, and the first time I really noticed it was in March because of March Madness. There are a lot of people who have mental health issues in their family or with their loved ones or their friends, and don't like using terms like madness or mania to that has a negative connotation or stigma attached to it when it comes to mental health, and use those same terminology words to describe their cross-stitch projects or what they're doing. So a very amazing person, which I'm going to put her information here because my memory's terrible and I can't ever remember people's names, but I saw her on actually saw it first on Instagram, but then found her here on FlossTube, and she made the suggestion that she, instead of using hashtag mania or mania21 or stitch mania 2021, she was going to use the word mayhem instead. And I like that for a number of reasons. One, I actually used that word back in March for kind of a similar purpose. I didn't like the word madness, and I'm not a sports fan anyway, so I kind of wanted to find some way to change it up on, for me personally. But this is the name of our lovely female cat that from time to time wanders in here and you hear her in the background. When we got her, it's been several years now, She's kind of becoming an old lady. When we originally got her, the Allstate Mayhem commercials were really popular at the time on television. And as a kitten, she was very rambunctious, very precocious, got into everything. And we would always joke about how she was going to, cause us to have an insurance claim, because she would climb on everything and jump on she's the first cat we'd had that actually was like that. And it was fine. She was fine. But because of those commercials, we kind of felt like she caused nothing but mayhem in this house. Good mayhem, entertaining mayhem, laughable mayhem, but still mayhem nonetheless. So we call her May for short. But in the spirit of changing up my month of May and what I call it, that's what I've chosen to do. So here are my plans for the month of May 2021. So, I follow Mary Ashcraft here on YouTube, and she mentioned here sometime in the last few weeks, I don't know how often she does her floss tube. I don't think she does it every week. She may do it every other week. But she had mentioned about what she wanted to do for her May plans. And a couple of things kind of all happened at the same time. One was she, like myself and a lot of other people, have recently received or purchased and received kits from a company in Russia called Forest Embroidery. And they also have a lot of free patterns on their website. And as a matter of fact, here just this past week, started a stitch along for the next year, based on the Alice in Wonderland character books, Well, Mary Ashcraft mentioned that she had just purchased some kits and some floss. I don't know if it was in direct relation to the Alice in Wonderland, but I think she did order several embroidery floss, specialty floss sets for several of their patterns. And started hinting around that she thought that that's what she might do for her May plans. So she has started on social media, on Instagram, the hashtag #OwlForestMania. And again, not using the word mania, but Owl Forest embroidery patterns, I have downloaded and saved several. I've purchased a couple of just patterns, but I actually have purchased one kit. And I think I did this on a previous episode, but this is the one kit that I purchased and received this a while back like right at the first of the year. I think I ordered this maybe the last week in December, like right after the holidays, and got it like within a month. But never started it. And actually part of the reason why was because they put the kits together so perfectly and the flosses all together so perfectly. I'll show you here in a minute, because what I've done is, along with that, I've purchased all the floss, and I have some existing fabric that I'm going to use. And I'm going to start the Alice in Wonderland stitch along. Along with that, and Alice in Wonderland, I have all the stuff kitted up to do the 100 Owls free pattern on their website. Again, bought all the DMC for that. And then there were a couple of other patterns that I really liked that are free, that I downloaded, that I'm going to start as well. So, with that, I will show you some of the things I've printed off because I have, I needed to get the DMC. Other things I'll put pictures here of the patterns I plan on doing. But yeah, so my plan is to have an Owl Forest month of May. Now, there are two exceptions that I am allowing myself. And it was going to be 3, but the first one I'll mention here briefly, I kind of didn't think I could handle one more start in the month of May, which is Brenda and Laura. Brenda and the Serial Starter here on FlossTube. They were going to do a Blackbird weekend, this first weekend in May. And I have all of the 6 released so far, Magical Mystery Tour Blackbird Designs patterns. And I really want to do those, but I don't think this is this is going to be the month or the time to start them. Because in addition to that start on May 1st, there were a couple of other starts that I was very interested in. One more so than all the others. So I am actually setting aside May 1st as a non-owl embroidery day. There are only going to be 2 in May. I'm gonna stick with that statement. But May the 1st, Steno Stitches, along with some other folks on Instagram, said they had just released their Game of Thrones pattern, which I will put right here. Basically, it's a take on the quote, I believe, from Tyrion that says, that's what I do. I drink and I know things. So this pattern is I cross stitch and I know things. And so I have chosen a, because it's a very small pattern, just a, I believe this is a 32 count linen, just antique white. And these are the only 2 colors, which is 169 and good old 310. So that is going to be my May 1st plan, to stitch along with them the Game of Thrones. The other day that I'm allowing myself, because I'm a big old nerd, is May 4th, which if you watched my unboxing of the Stitch Life magazine box for April and May, their pattern is hashtag May the 4th be with you, which is a take on May the 4th be with you from Star Wars. And they had a space themed pattern, which I will show you really quick. So that's my plan to do this along with, so I'm going to do half a day and half a day probably, or morning and evening, since it is Star Wars Day. I'm also going to spend some time and start this, which I also did an unboxing for this chart as well, or for this kit as well. And this is Forbidden Fiber. This is Leanne's design. I actually had made my own project bag and everything in anticipation of this kit coming out. I had the bag ready to go. So the kit came with the called for fabric, which I have right here. 14 count Ada is what I ended up getting. It's called Tumbleweed. This is the needle minder that came with it. And then this really cute one, which is the Millennium Falcon, I got from Nerdy Needle Designs, I think, which was the same company that designed these for the Stitch Life magazine box. So this is the one I got in my box, this little space kitty, but they also had this little Namaste astronaut, so I couldn't help myself. And this, the hoop, the fabric, everything, this was all part of the Stitch Life magazine kit. So my plans for May the 4th are to do some stitchy space related, Star Wars related stitching. So, other than those 2 days, everything else is going to be spent on Owl Forest. So, okay, so there are 4 full weeks in May. Basically, I think most people that are doing Mania are starting on the 2nd because it starts on Sunday. So I kind of feel like my Game of Thrones start on May the 1st is kind of a freebie, a gimme, or whatever anyway, because most people aren't starting on the 2nd. But there are plenty of people, believe me, they're still starting May 1st. So there are 4 full weeks, and then in addition, there are 3 additional days, the 1st, the 30th, and the 31st. So, I picked 4 patterns, so my plan is to stitch only on a pattern a week. I think I'm going to start with the Alice in Wonderland Sal, only because it's the one that's been released already, and I think they're releasing these once a month. But I want to make sure that I stay kind of on top of it if I can, because I know in addition, I'm going to have to mix this back into the rotation with my other stitch-alongs as time goes on. So, the fabric that I picked is actually one of those that's like out of the box. It's it comes in the big long tube. So this is Irish Linen, a 28 count even weave by Charles Craft DMC brand. So this is the fabric. I've just kind of folded it up in my little Mad Hatter, and then a little clock that when you put your needle on it, it kind of points to the time, and then a little butterfly needle minder. And then instead of the DMC on this, because I'm not purchasing the Forbidden Fiber, because I'm not purchasing the Owl Forest flosses, I went through the photograph. I'll actually put a picture here of what they kind of showed on social media. But I went through, and I had a lot of these already, but I found what I believe are good, close equivalents of Forbidden Fiber flosses. And what I didn't have were the green. Well, I had this bright, like pickle. I think this is pickle. Yeah. What I didn't have, though, which I needed a lot of, was a dark green. So I ordered 2 different colors that she had plenty of, and this is what I chose, which is Christmas Ivy. But pretty much everything else I had. There were a couple that I didn't like, this Snowdrift and this Pale Purple, which is it Lilac? Lavender Pearl. And then like this dark blue Indigo. And I was going to go with some Leo and Roxy that was very, very similar. But when I realized I needed a bunch of green, I went ahead and ordered all the colors I figured I was missing in this case. So I made sure I had enough of each one of those. So that is going to be week 1 for sure. After that, though, the other patterns I picked were off of their things that I had downloaded off of their website and my one kit. So I'll show you my kit one first. I think I've actually shown this once before, but essentially in their kits you get this big, huge, like multi-page paper copy of the pattern, but it's like multiple pages. It's in color. You just have to kind of figure out what goes where. And theirs are kind of interesting because instead of having like full page, they kind of break theirs up into smaller like motifs, and you just have to figure out where they are corresponding. But in the kit also was this really pretty fabric, which is, it's the kit. So this is their fabric. They're really cute little needle minder with the little, there's a little motif on the pattern of the little house. And then all of their flosses. So that's going to be a week. And what I've decided to do, other than the first week in which I know I will stitch Alice in Wonderland because I want to start there, The other ones, I think I'm going to use my Tiny Decisions wheel spinner app and let it tell me what to stitch next. So then, in addition to that one, I've also got, and I kind of printed this one out, this is the 101 Owls, or 101. It's not Dalmatians, Jennifer, it's owls. This is the 100 Owls. So I just printed this out so I had my DMC, because that's what I ended up doing with this one. Is, and I kind of just, I had a few already, but basically I just went to like Michael's or Joann's and bought all the colors that I was missing for that one. And this, I believe, is a 14 count Aida, just a Zweigart, just kind of a pale gray blue color. If I can find the color, I think it's called maybe like Silver Moon or something. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's another little nerdy needle minder, or nerdy needle design co. So there's that one. And then the other one, I decided to go ahead. I really love this pattern a lot. I'm going to put the picture right here. This is another freebie on their website. And it's just so cute, this little autumn cat. So again, DMC, going with the DMC. Not going to go out of my way to buy their flosses. I don't think I really need it. This is a slightly darker Zweigart. This is called Misty Blue, and this is another 14 count. But it's slightly darker than the one that I just showed you. And my little cat. And pumpkin needle minders there. But these are the only colors. So I think that's going to look really pretty. Nice little autumn cat picture. So that's another one. And it's a smaller, it's not nearly as big as any of these other ones are. So so between this one and the last one I'm going to show you, they're going to be kind of my combo week. Like if I spin the wheel and one of these two come up and I feel like, or I do end up completing one, then I will start the other one in that same week. So there's the autumn cat. And then finally, again, I'll put the pattern up here, or picture of the pattern up here. This one's called Sparrows. And this is literally the only Aida I need to complete that one. This is like an ornament size, like, so you can go, like, I ordered this from Fire Poppies. You get like a little grab bag of like a little ornament sized mix and match, you know, little fabrics. So this is a Vintage Country Mocha 14 count. And those little sparrows will go on here. So, and again, just took the information offline, or on you know, online, and went to Michael's or wherever and just got the flosses I needed. Now, I don't know why. I think I put this extra Blanc white in here because I'm going to need it, but I think I've got a big roll of white in here in one of these somewhere, so I think I just threw it in there as an extra just in case. But that is it. Those are my choices for my Owl Forest Mayhem for May 2021. And like I said, Mary Ashcraft, this was her baby, but there are several other folks I think that are participating as well. So follow along. You'll probably have to follow their hashtag, which will be hashtag #OwlForestMania, MAYNIA. But I'm not gonna, I'm gonna go with Mayhem. And the floss tuber that mentioned switching over to Stitch Mayhem 2021. That's probably what I'll end up using, and then I'll use some kind of Owl Forest hashtag as well. So those are my plans for May 2021 this year. Let me know what you're doing in the comments. I'd love to find out if you're doing something more traditional in the spirit of the original idea behind stitching in the month of May, or if you're doing something different. If you're doing a monogamania, I'd love to know what project you're doing. I was very tempted to just pick one of these and do a monogamania, just because I kind of wanted to focus on just doing, you know, one thing and seeing how far I could get with it. But I kind of like this because it gives me a full week of working on a pattern, and it doesn't it still gives me enough flexibility to change things up. So hopefully at the end of a week, if I'm sick of a pattern, or I don't like the stitching, or it's not as much fun as I thought it was going to be, I get to change it up. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I can't wait to see what everybody does this year for all of their projects on social media. I just hope I can keep up. It seems like here lately I've been trying to stay off of my phone and actually work on projects, so I hope that I can kind of balance the two, along with you know, continuing all the normal, you know, life, work, you know, all the other things that I gotta do before I can sit down and stitch and enjoy the rest of my day. So thank you for joining me. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks with another probably knitting episode. I almost considered doing just a month of cross stitch floss or cross stitch episodes, so you might see that instead. I don't know. I'll see how far along I get. Maybe I'll do an update at the end of every week, maybe just a short one, just to show you what I did for that week, what I worked on. But until I see you, be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.